Hey you all, I'm Aditi and on this channel I upload videos about my thoughts, some journal related videos, stationery and just everything and anything that I like. So this video is about my favorites from 2024, the things I enjoyed using, the movies I loved watching, the shows I really liked and the books I read. So there is a lot here and I know it's a little late to post this video, but anyway, better late than never. And no matter whenever you watch this video, you are going to get some really nice recommendations from here. So keep on watching. The first thing that I want to show you is this Bioderma Sensibio H2O. This is a micellar water by the brand Bioderma. And it's really nice. It's also suitable for sensitive skin. I personally like it because I do not have to wash my face after using this. Basically, it just does not leave any residue on the face. So I'm a lazy girl and I love this thing about it. This is the travel sized bottle. I bought it to just try it out first and then I would decide if I want to go for the full size or not. Needless to say, I loved this so much, I bought the full size as well. So now this stays at my home and this I take with me while traveling. The next thing that I want to show you is this Chemistat Play deodorant underarm roll-on. It controls odor and it also exfoliates your underarms. It has 5% AHA and it's in the variant Aqua fragrance. The main thing about it that I love the most is that it keeps the body odor at bay for like 2-3 days. I mean, at least on me. So I really like this. Next I have this Foxtails clay mask. It's that purple clay mask that went viral on the internet. Although I did not buy it because it's purple or it went viral, I bought it because it has lactic acid as well. So I usually use my good old Multani Mitti mask for my face. But I really wanted a mask that also has chemical exfoliants. And it actually works really well. I really liked using it. Next I have this CeraVe moisturizing cream for dry to very dry skin. So I do not have very dry skin. I do have normal to dry skin. This one is not that light in texture. It is thick, but it does not leave the skin greasy at all. It does not leave the skin oily at all. So I really like this thing about it. It gives a very sort of satin sort of a finish on the skin, satin matte, if that makes sense. I'm just gonna quickly show you the texture of it. So it has a very thick balm like texture, not balm exactly, but like a thick cream, and it melts into the skin really quickly and really well. The next thing I really loved this year was this Nat Habits Fresh Whipped Skin Malai. It's a body lotion or body butter or somewhere in between, but they call it the Skin Malai for body. They also have Skin Malai for face. This comes in, I think, 4 or 5 variants. I have the Double Cocoa Intense Derma Care one. This is an Ayurvedic moisturizer that they make fresh every single day. So the expiry of this moisturizer is always 3 months from manufacturing. So we have to complete it, exhaust it within 3 months. All the ingredients used here are natural ingredients. I'm just going to quickly read out the ingredients for you. So it has
raw milk, brown cocoa, cocoa butter, shea, coffee, walnut, almond, coconut, sesame, sunflower seeds, olive cream, pineapple, orange, rosemary, beeswax, vanilla, patchouli, lotus, salt and aqua.
So this also does not contain any artificial fragrance, but this smells really nice because of the cocoa. It smells like chocolate. Not exactly chocolate, but it does smell like cocoa powder. The texture of this is really thick. Also because it's winters right now and it has all those butters and oils in it, so they get really thick in winters. During summers the texture of it becomes slightly oily, You know, like how ghee or butter melts in the summers, something like that. Not exactly, but something like that. Now I'm just gonna put it out there very straight. This is not for everyone. Not everybody is gonna like it. First of all, because of the fragrance. Now this variant has cocoa, so it smells somewhat like chocolates. But the other variants, I have heard reviews from people that they do not like the fragrance because of the Ayurvedic ingredients. So first of all, you might not enjoy the fragrance. I personally do of all the variants, but not everybody is gonna love it. Secondly, the texture, it's really thick, it's really creamy and buttery and has oils in it. I'm not sure, but I don't think it's going to suit oily skin people really well. But for dry to very dry skin or even normal to dry skin, this will work really nicely. It hydrates the skin for at least 48 hours. At least that's what I have noticed on my skin. I'm quickly going to show you texture a little bit. See, it's really buttery. It's really buttery. It does leave the skin a little greasy because of the oils and butters, but that greasiness goes away in like half an hour or so. So if that's a problem for you, because I know that's a problem for a lot of people, they do not like having greasiness on their skin at all. Now last thing I have in skincare slash body care category are these two lip balms. This one is the Laneige lip balm. It's in the variant berry, and the second one is the Indie Wild Dewy Lip Treatment Balm. I really liked using both of these lip balms, but if I had to choose one, I would choose this one purely because it has ghee in it and ghee is just really good for your lips. But other than that, this is also a really nice lip balm, and the price range of both are nearly the same. The texture though is different for both of these. So the Laneige lip balm is sort of jelly like, but the Indie Wild lip balm is a little waxy. So it also applies easily during winters. The product does not get thick during winters. That's what I really like about this. But the Laneige one, I felt that it got a little thick, so it was a little hard to get it out of the tube. But other than that, both are really nice and cute. Also, the hydration they give is actually really good. Like, I know these lip balms are hyped and all, but they're hyped for good reason, I feel that. Coming to the makeup section, the first thing and my most favorite thing of this, no, the second most favorite thing of this year. This is Pixi On The Glow blush, and it's in the variant Ruby. It's in the color Ruby, and it says that
It's hydrating solid cheek tint. Use on cheeks and lips.
I do not use it on lips. I have never used it on lips, so I don't know about that. But for cheeks, for using it as a blush, this is heavenly. It's so good. Comes in this kind of packaging. It also has a lid on top of it, which a lot of people don't like. I don't mind it though. It comes like this, and you have to like twist it to take it out. It leaves a very subtle tint on the cheeks or on the skin wherever you use it. And the best thing about this blush is that it's perfectly pigmented. Like, it's not extremely pigmented that might make you look like a monkey or something. You can build it up. What I'm trying to say is you can build it up, and I really like when blushes give you the opportunity to build it up. And also gives a little bit of a dewy sheen on the cheeks, like a glow from within sort of a thing, but in a very natural way. It does not have any sparkles or glitters in it. If you're going for a natural makeup look, or you just do not want to put anything on your face, just a blush or like just a hint of color, this is the perfect buy for you. The next are these lip tints from the brand Romand. I really like these lip tints. I have 4 of them with me.
This one is their Zero Velvet tint in the shade Burnt Heart. This is the Lasting Water tint in the shade Brick River. This is the Juicy Lasting tint in the shade Fig Fig. And the last one is also Juicy Lasting Tint in the shade Nucademia.
You can check out the swatches of these on my channel. I have made a shorts video about it, so you can look it up in shorts on my channel. Except for the Nucademia one, because I got it recently. The Zero Velvet tint is their line of matte tints, and these are also like kind of blurry, so they give a sort of a blurry effect on the lips and blurs the lip lines. Not lip line, the lines on the lips. It is not transfer proof, but it does last for quite a while. The Juicy Lasting tints are glossy, they are not matte, and they give a very nice looking glossiness to the lips. Not extremely glossy, but glossy enough to like make other people think that you are wearing a gloss. And even after the gloss wears off, the tint remains, which is a very nice thing. The Glasstic Water tint is the most liquidy of all, as the name suggests. It's like you are wearing a tint on your lips and a really shiny water-like gloss on top of it. It looks like that. And the tint in the whole line of the Glasstic Water tints is the strongest that I feel. Speaking of lip glosses, I have this Fenty Beauty cream gloss in the shade Cookie Jar. This lip gloss is so good. This is my favorite lip gloss. Not that I have a lot of lip glosses. It is really nice. It gives a beautiful shine. It does not have any sparkles or any glitters. The shine is almost glass-like, and it's also pigmented. It's pigmented enough for one to wear on bare lips, so you don't need to wear it on a lipstick, but you can if you want to. I'm actually wearing it right now. Next I have the Huda Beauty Power Bullet lipstick in the shade Ladies Night. This lipstick I got it on discount. I think I got it for 1100 or so. This is definitely worth 1100, no doubt, but I think it might be a little too expensive to get it for its MRP, because in Indian market now we have a lot of really good formulas for matte lipsticks, and they are also really long lasting, just like this. So it does feel really nice. The formula is really good. Again, I'm saying this, worth it for 1100 or even 1500, but not for more than that. The shade of this lipstick is really pretty. It's a very deep berry sort of a shade, and I think it also has purple undertones, which I really like about it. Next I have this Charlotte Tilbury lipstick in the shade Pillow Talk Medium. First of all, the packaging, it looks stunning. There is a logo, so the packaging is really nice. It's gorgeous. It speaks luxe, the packaging, and also the formula. Like, the formula is also really good. It feels really luxurious. It feels really creamy. It's a creamy matte lipstick. It's creamy and it's matte, but it does not look like a creamy matte, if you know what I mean. Like, it gives the illusion of a pure matte lipstick, which I really like. And also, it's not drying on the lips. I have really dry lips, but this does not dry out my lips, so I really like it for that. And just in case, my shade in MAC is NC25. Speaking of MAC, I have a tiny mini bullet lipstick from MAC. It's their new formula, Maximal. It's in the shade Ruby Woo. I bought the mini one because I wasn't sure how often will I use a red lipstick, because, well, I generally use nudes more, but does come with a lot of quantity, I must say. Like, the formula is really nice. It's not, it is a little drying, but not that drying. It's purely matte, and the shade Ruby Woo is a cult classic. I don't have to talk a lot about it. It's a red shade. Although the guy in the MAC store, he said to me that it's a warm red. Now, I don't know if it was because he was just trying his best to sell this lipstick to me, because I wanted a warm red shade. And it did look warm. I don't know how in the MAC store, but when I came back home, it looked cool. So I'm confused now. So if anybody knows about this, just please let me know. But regardless, I really like the shade. It looks really pretty on me, and I think it will look really pretty on almost everyone. Like, that's why it's a cult classic. Next, I have a concealer with me. It's the Bobbi Brown concealer stick in the shade Warm Natural. So, as the name suggests, it is a concealer stick. So it's creamy. It's not a liquid concealer. Comes up like this. Again, comes with a lot of quantity, which is nice. It's not drying. Although if you don't use a really good moisturizer and have really dry skin, it might set on your dry patches. But other than that, it's a really nice concealer. The shade is perfect for my skin tone. And I'm just really happy about this concealer, maybe because I was looking for a really nice concealer for a long time, and now finally I have it. So it's just, I don't know, it's just making me really happy for some reason. Last in the makeup category, I have this mascara with me. This is Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I cannot say anything about the claim of it being better than sex, but it is a really nice mascara. It's also the travel size because again, I wanted to try it out first before buying the full size product. Again, it's a cult classic. Everybody loves this. I tried it. I loved it too. The wand is really nice, if you can see it. It's really nice. The shape, I really like the shape of the wand. It does not clump up my lashes. It does not give it a very false lash-like look. It gives the kind of look as if you naturally have really pretty and a little long and thick lashes. Coming to the fragrance category, the first I have is my current obsession. This is so good. This is Jolly Gingerbread Village Fine Fragrance Mist from Bath & Body Works. Now, being very honest, I do not like the body mists of Bath & Body Works a lot, and I think they also smell synthetic-y at times. Not all of them, but some of them that I have smelled. But this one right here, it's just so good. I am literally obsessed with this. This fragrance is mild, it's not very strong. As the name suggests, it has a note of ginger as well, a hint of ginger. It has a lot of vanilla in it, which is really nice for winter. It's a very warm, woody vanilla fragrance with a hint of ginger. It's not overly sweet, it's not sickly sweet that will give you a headache or anything. It's very mildly and very pleasantly sweet. So if you are a person who does not like really sweet fragrances, you are still going to like it. The vanilla is really nice, it's smooth. The plasticness or the syntheticness in this is very low. That's why I really like it. Next, I have this really pretty bottle with me. I mean, look at the cap. Just look at it. Just look how pretty the cap is. This is so pretty. And the whole bottle itself is really nice. Even the outer packaging that it came in, I still have it somewhere. Admiring the beauty of the bottle, I totally forgot to mention what the fragrance is itself. So it's Hair Pistachio by Paris Corner. And this is a dupe of Kayali's Yum Pistachio Gelato. Now, I'll tell you the story behind this fragrance, why I have it.
So I bought the Kayali's Yum Pistachio Gelato one, the 10 ml bottle, the travel size one, and that fragrance just stole my heart. It was love at first sniff. I loved that fragrance so much, I became obsessed with it. I used to use it a lot on myself, almost daily. I exhausted it, and then I started saving up money to buy the bigger bottle of it because it's Kayali, it's really expensive. But I came across Hair Pistachio by some YouTuber. I think I found it on some YouTube video, and the YouTuber said that it's a really good dupe of the Kayali Yum Pistachio Gelato. So I just thought of giving it a try. Though I was skeptical because I thought it might smell a little plasticky or synthetic since it's a dupe, and it comes really cheap in comparison to Kayali. It's not cheap on its own, but in comparison to Kayali, it is quite inexpensive. And I loved it. It's smooth. It's really smooth. It's not plasticky at all. It's not synthetic at all. There is just a hint of alcohol that comes in the beginning and it just goes away in seconds. So it's not going to bother you at all.
You can wear this fragrance throughout the year, but the Kayali one, in my opinion, you might not want to wear it during winters. And guess what? This lasts longer than the Khayali one. It's long lasting, but it's not suffocating. It will not suffocate you because of its strongness. It's not a very strong fragrance. It projects very well as well, and I always get compliments when I wear it. Next, I have this tiny bottle of Guess Seductive Noir. It's 30 ml bottle. Guess Seductive Noir is not for everyone. Let me just say it first thing. It's not for everyone. Not everybody is gonna like it. I would say it's not a very mass pleasing sort of a fragrance, and I'm saying it because it feels like a very complex fragrance to me. It is on the darker side. It's not a very light and fluffy kind of a fragrance. It opens up with some note of citrus. I don't know if it's bergamot or I think it might be bergamot. I don't know. I mean, with this fragrance, I am just not able to differentiate between the notes a lot. And I think this is the reason I feel that it is a complex fragrance. But yeah, the florals are also a little dark. They are not like very light florals, very light and very sweet florals. It does have a little bit of sweetness, and I think it's because of the vanilla. It does become a really nice powdery vanilla fragrance in the dry down, which I love a lot. I love the whole fragrance itself, but the dry down is to die for. It's just so good. This isn't something that I can recommend to anyone and everyone because this is the kind of fragrance that not everybody is gonna like, but I love it. I really love this fragrance. If you ever get your hands on it on some store, offline, just sniff it once and then think of buying it. The last perfume that I have with me is Zara Apple Juice. I have been eyeing this one since a while because of the notes. I had read its notes and I just somehow knew that I'm gonna love this fragrance. It is a very nice green apple fragrance with also jasmine mixed in it, I feel. It's very summer appropriate, it's light, it's airy, it's not sweet, it's not a sweet fragrance. And just because it has green apple, it does not make it a gourmand either, it's not a gourmand. But yeah, I really like it, it's a very fresh fragrance and I think this is something that a lot of people are going to love. Last in the fragrance category are these 3 essential oils that I bought from Auroville. This is lavender, this is patchouli, and this is musk. Lavender is of course nice, I really like it, but you get lavender everywhere I think. I mean, it's easy to find lavender essential oil in India. I'm not that sure about patchouli because I personally haven't come across a patchouli essential oil from any other website, and especially musk. Now, of course you get musk in your perfumes, in Itr and everything, but an essential oil, again, I have not seen a musk essential oil before this. I bought these 3, I really like them, they are really good quality, and if I have to choose one from this, I will choose musk because I love musk in general and it's like heaven for me to have a musk essential oil. The next category I'm going to talk about is books. Now, I did not read a lot of books this year, but all of the books that I read, the books that stood out to me the most were these. So this is the Good Girls Guide to Murder series and I'm holding them in the wrong order. Wait. Yes, now it's right. So this is the Good Girls Guide to Murder series. It is YA. No, actually only the first book is YA because other 2 contain things that shouldn't be read by teenagers. This book teenagers can read. These 2 maybe not a good idea. Now, I had never read any book series before this one because I did not think that I will be able to commit myself to the whole series, but still I just wanted to give it a try. It did not look really promising to me, to be very honest, and it's also because it went viral on BookTok, and a lot of books that go viral on BookTok, I don't end up liking them or even the synopsis of them. So again, I was skeptical, but firstly I picked this one up and I thought, okay, I'll just try the first book. If I like it, then I'll buy the other books as well, otherwise I won't. And I really ended up liking it actually. And also, if you have watched the Netflix series, then also you need to read this book. It's so much better than the series. I mean, I'm not saying the series is bad, it's fine as well. This has so much more details in it and it's way better than the series. The character building is really nice in this book. I really like Ravi and Pippa's bond in this. It's a YA thriller and it is a page turner. The twists though, the twists and turns are nice, but they won't really, hit you in the gut. But they are still nice, they are still readable, and the thing I really like about this is it's very binge worthy. So if you are in a reading slump, I think this is the book that you need to read. Now I'm going to talk about some random things that I really enjoyed using this year. First are these earrings. These earrings were gifted to me by someone, so I cannot really tell you where that person got this from. But these are really pretty and I really like them. Next I have these really cute fuzzy socks. They are extremely soft and squishy and cozy and they are great for winters. I also have another pair with me, which is this one. These are long socks and these are ankle length socks and both of them are really nice. I haven't used these one yet, but I have used them and I have also washed them, and the thing I do not like about them is that after washing them they don't remain as soft, but other than that these are really nice. I got these from Daiso. Talking about stationery, I have only picked one thing for this video because God forbid if I start talking about stationery, I don't know if this video will ever end or not. So these are the Keiko gel pens. They look really nice. The packaging, the plastic is matte and the colors are not like very bright and into your face. These are a little muted, which I really appreciate. These are gel pens. They are really good quality and they are really comfortable to write with. I have swatched all of these on a shorts video, so do check it out. Now I'm going to talk about some food items that I ate this year and I really loved them. So I'm just gonna read those out from my journal because again the food that I already ate I cannot show you here. First is cinnamon roll. So I had cinnamon roll for the first time in my life this year. I actually do not like the flavor of cinnamon that much, so I did not think that I would like them. But to my surprise, I loved them and now I'm obsessed. Next I have is biryani. So I went to Hyderabad this year. If you haven't watched the Hyderabad haul, then do check it out. It's on my channel. So in Hyderabad, there is this food chain restaurant called Paradise. It's famous for its biryani and I loved the biryani there. It's Hyderabad, of course you are going to love their biryani. Okay, and there is this one pizza place in Hyderabad in Orbit Mall that I went to, and the pizza there was hella expensive and it was all worth it. That pizza was so good. I'm going to search it on Google and mention the name and everything on the screen and also the description box. But that pizza was so good. It was chef's kiss. Like the sauce of it was the marinara sauce. I cannot. Since I went to Hyderabad, I also went to visit IKEA and there we had lunch and everything. Now this wasn't the first time that I was in Hyderabad or in IKEA as well. So I have had IKEA's food before and I really love their cheesecake. I don't know, I've tried a lot of cheesecakes from a lot of places in a lot of cities, but there's just something about that really ordinary and plain cheesecake from IKEA that I really like and gravitate towards. Then I have Canto's Pizza, which is in Pondicherry. It's a very famous place for pizza in Pondicherry, and for all the good reasons. It's worth the hype. I'm just gonna say it and leave it there. Shadi season is going on, or it's almost gone, but I ate one particular dish during this Shadi season in a particular wedding, and I really loved that. So it was palak corn ki sabzi. I really liked it, and I asked my mom to make it at home, and she did, and I keep eating it a lot. Next I have is Twix chocolate by Mars. Now this is the chocolate that was featured in Dark. That's how I came to know about it, and that is the only reason I even tried it, and I really ended up liking it. The last thing that I ate this year that I really enjoyed and loved was kunafa. Kunafa is a Turkish delight, if I'm not wrong, or I will have to check it. But yeah, anyway, so kunafa is a dessert. If you are from India and if you have had this sweet, ghevar. So kunafa really reminded me of ghevar, but of course it has its differences as well. But it feels like they come from the same family or something. So I really enjoyed having it. Now we enter the movie section, the movies that I really loved watching this year. The first is Manchester by the Sea. I know, it is a depressing movie, not gonna lie, but I still loved it. I still enjoyed watching it. The screenplay is so good in this movie, and if I'm not wrong, I think it also got nominated or maybe even won an Oscar for the screenplay. And I can see why. I can really see why the screenplay is really that good. But it is a slow movie, and it is more like a character study than a plot driven movie. So not everybody is gonna like it, I think. So if you can handle slow movies with sort of a depressing tone, with an amazing screenplay, really good direction, and fabulous acting, then go ahead and watch it. The next movie that I'm going to talk about is Pearl. Now, well, that is my comfort movie now. Pearl is about this girl who lives in a village. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, it's the second movie in the X movie series. You can think of Pearl as a prequel to X. So yeah, it is a psychological drama. I won't call it a horror, but people may call it horror. It has some gore in it, but not a lot. So if you enjoy psychological dramas, then do give it a watch. Next I have Longlegs. I'm sure you must have heard about this movie. It was released this year itself, and I watched it in theatre, and I really liked that decision of mine. The cinematography in this film was really good. The screenplay was amazing as well. The editing was really good too. Just everything about this movie was really nice. It's not horror in your traditional way with a lot of jump scares and everything. It is sort of a modern horror, and the movie is really atmospheric, and this is what I really like about it. In modern horror movies, there has to be a really well built atmosphere to get those chills and creepiness all over. So Longlegs does this really well, and it does a really nice job in it. The last film that I'm going to talk about is Requiem for a Dream. It's by one of my favorite directors, Darren Aronofsky. This film is a little old, and it's also a cult classic, if I'm not wrong. It's very popular among movie buffs and cinephiles, but I still hadn't watched it till this year because it wasn't available in India on any OTT platform, but it came to Amazon Prime for like a month or so, and then it went back. I don't know why. But anyway, I just got the opportunity to watch it. I finally watched it. That movie. Well, you need hard and stone-like heart to watch it. It is heart-wrenching. It is really sad. It is psychological, horrific. It was horrific to watch. The soundtrack of the movie was gorgeous. It was haunting. It was just so good. It still haunts me till date, and I've heard from a lot of people that it's a really great movie to watch, but they cannot watch it twice. They could only watch it once, and I completely agree with them. Although I did watch it 3 times because I really enjoyed. But yeah, I get where they're coming from, and even it was difficult for me to who has watched a lot of these psychological horrors and thrillers with a lot of gore and everything. Although this movie did not have like gore as such, but there were a lot of disturbing scenes. The story itself was very disturbing. So if you are into such psychological drama, with disturbing scenes and disturbing storyline and the disturbing lives of the characters, then do give it a watch. And also, if you are somebody who abuses substances, I'm not trying to like moral police here, okay? Just hear me out. If you are somebody who is abusing substances, who is even like trying them, I think you definitely should watch this movie. It's for your own good. And also, by the way, just make sure to read the trigger warnings for the movie. It can get really triggering for people. Now let's come to series. So firstly, I want to talk about Gilmore Girls. I know it's very hyped and it's very popular. It's a classic, but I hadn't watched it till this year because I don't know. I just thought that it would be like Friends or How I Met Your Mother or all those sitcoms, and I don't actually like them. I'm sorry for like saying this because I know a lot of people love watching those shows, but I don't. I just don't personally enjoy sitcoms. I knew that Gilmore Girls is not a sitcom, but I don't know, I just used to get that vibe from it, so I was just staying away from it until now. I gave it a watch and I got hooked. I really liked it. It's very comforting. It's also very fall coded, and I know a lot of people romanticize watching it during fall, and I can see why. It's about the Gilmore Girls. So the Gilmore Girls are a pair of two girls. One is the mother, one is her daughter, and the age gap between them is relatively really less than what we see in the world. Mother gave birth to the daughter when she herself was 16. So that explains the short age gap, and because of this they have a really amazing and sort of unique relationship with each other. It's almost like they are like sisters or best friends or something, and it's very comforting to watch. It's also witty. I really like the humor in it, not all the time though, but I really like the humor in it, and the characters are witty as well. Next on my list is Baby Reindeer. This series was released this year on Netflix. It is a Netflix original. I did not see a lot of people talk about it, and it just broke my heart. Like, it's a really nice series, and it like on surface level it seems like a comedy series where there's this stand-up comedian who is troubled by this woman who stalks him, who is obsessed with him. So initially it's all like funny and laughter and everything, but as we progress in the show, it's not just about the comic aspect of it. It also explores the underlying issues of the two characters, the underlying traumas of the two characters, and how they are affecting them in their life in the present. So it is a really nice show, and I highly recommend watching this. The next is a K-drama called My Name. Now, I am not somebody who is into K-dramas because I think it's because I do not like rom-com or romance and comedy in general. So I don't really enjoy them. That's why I just stay away from K-dramas. I don't judge people who watch them. Like, I know they must be really nice and all, but it's just my personal preference of genres, that's it. But My Name, I started watching it because I got to know that it's thriller and it's about revenge. So of course I had to watch it. So it's not just thriller, it's actually action thriller. Then we have Russian Doll. Now, Russian Doll will remind you of Palm Springs. There's this loop, and the character is stuck in that loop of the story, and like they die and then they are born back in the same moment. So it's like that. Now the series also explores the themes of, again, childhood trauma as well, and philosophical themes as well, some philosophical themes, and it's also hilarious at times. So it's just a fun watch. The episodes are very short. I think they are 25 to 30 minutes long, and it's a really nice series. I haven't watched the season 2 of it, but I've heard it's not as great as season 1. So you can try watching season 1 and see if you like it. And at last, I have The Alienist. It's unfortunately not on Netflix anymore. So it's about this alienist who is trying to solve a case of this serial murderer who keeps killing young boys who are actually sex workers. So that we get to see the psychology of the killer and how the alienist finds him, what all he does, all the adventures in between. It's a really good show, but there's no point in recommending it right now because it's not on Netflix anymore. But again, if by any illegal means, if you are able to find it anywhere online, then do give it a watch. And lastly, I'm just gonna throw out some songs here that I really liked this year, that were my favorite, that I kept listening to again and again. And with that, it's the end of this video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching this video and got some recommendations from it. And yeah, so I'll see you in my next video. Until then, bye bye.